to Lesson 7, Unit 3 of CKLA Skills. Today we are going to read words with the OA and the OE spellings. So these are going to say O. I can sort words with different spellings for the O sound. Now, do you see the slashes around that OE? That's the sound that it makes. It says O. So we're going to look at OE and OA that both make the O sound. And we're also going to review nouns. So we're going to identify nouns in sentences. Now today when we look at these O sounds, we're going to focus on that spelling tree. So we're going to focus on putting them onto the spelling tree where they would belong. So you remember at the bottom of the tree, those would be the most common O sounds that you would see. And the ones at the top would be those that you see less often because, the branches are less. Now this is a vowel sound, the OA. The OA sound makes O. So this word is boat. And you notice the O and the A come in the middle of the word. Now let's practice reading words with the O spelling. Oak, O, float, fl, O, t, coal, k, O, l. Now this is k, not s, because it's not followed by E, I, or Y. Loaf, l, O, goal, g, O, l. Goat, g, O, t. Now we have the OE. The OE also says O. This word is toe. Now this often comes at the end of the word to say O. Now let's practice words with the O sound spelled OE. Goes, g, O, s. Doe, d, O. Foe, O. A foe is like an enemy. Tornado. This is tornadoes, so it's plural. T, or a, d, o. S, tornadoes. Hoe. You can use a hoe in the garden to break up the ground. Joe, j, o. The OE usually comes at the end of the word, but you saw in some of those other words that it wasn't always at the end of the word. That's an oboe up there at the top. That's an instrument, an oboe. Tiptoe, aloe, hoe, doe. Now let's add some leaves to the tree. So if we were going to add these O sounds, where would we add them? Your OE and your OA generally are often seen. Your O consonant E would probably be the most common. So your OE and your OA would go in the middle, like those longer branches towards the middle. So those you see quite a bit, but you don't see them the most saying that O sound. Now we're going to do some chaining. Okay, this time when I read the words, I have been showing you the words on the screen, but I want you to listen really carefully today because I'm going to tell you the correct spelling of the word, and I really want you to focus in on erasing that one sound that I tell you to erase. So you got to be a really good listener, and if you want to grab like a dry erase marker, if you have a marker board, that would be great. If not, grab you a sheet of paper and a pencil. Just make sure it has a good eraser because we're going to erase one sound at a time. Okay, the first word that you're going to write is the word oak. O-K. Now, how would you spell oak? O-A-K. So you're going to write the word oak. O-A-K. Okay, now erase the K and make that word oat. oat. So how would you spell that word oat? O-A-T. Okay, now you're going to add a letter to oat. Make oat, moat, moat. What letter did you add to oat to make moat? You added an M. Good. So it's M-O-A-T. Erase the M in moat and change moat to boat. Boat. Now, how would you spell boat? B-O-A-T. Now erase the vowel sound, which is O-A, right? Which says O. So erase the O-A and make the word bat. Bat. How would you spell bat? B-A-T. Erase the word or the letter T and change it to the word bad. Bad. So when our T changes to the D sound, how do we spell bad? B-A-D. Make sure you make your bed. Check your B's and D's. Okay, erase the B in bad and change it to lad. Lad. Okay, this would be spelled L-A-D. Now erase the A sound, and change it to load. Load. Now remember how we say O in the middle of the word. It's O-A, right? So load is L-O-A-D. Great job. Great job at chaining. Now let's pause the video and find workbook page 39, which says 7.1 at the top. On this page, you're going to be sorting the O sound with the different ways that we have made the O sound so far with. So you're going to have the O-E, the O-A in the middle of the word. So O-A is going to fall in the middle often, but it says O. And then you're going to have the O consonant E. So that magic E at the end of the word that makes the O say its name. So you can pause the video now and work on page 39 and, well, just page 39 and group these according to or classify them on how they make the O sound. When you are finished, you may unpause the video and come back to the next activity. Okay, the next thing that we're going to be working on is making complete sentences, building complete sentences. So we're going to be unscrambling a group of words to make a good complete sentence. And remember that complete sentences start with a capital letter. They have a who or a subject. They have a verb or a predicate, so they have some sort of action. And they express a complete and always ends with an end mark, like a punctuation mark, a period, question mark, or an exclamation point. So let's look at this group of words. We're going to do the first one together, a few of them together, before you do some on your own. Okay, look at your words, and all of these are vowel sounds and consonants that you already know, so you should be able to sound these words out. Hat, ball, park, the, playing, Sam, fun, at. Now you know that most of your sentences start with the noun, person, place, thing, or idea, and those are your subjects of your sentence. So do we have a person, place, thing, or idea in this group of words? We have ball, which is a thing. We have park, which is a place. We have Sam, which is a person. Now here we've got a big hint. Our big hint is a capitalized word. So we automatically know that we're going to put Sam at the front. But if you look at the word ball, is there really a good predicate or a really good verb that could go with ball? ball playing, ball had playing. No, so we know we've kind of got to go with Sam. Now I want you to see if you can figure out what the sentence is. See if you can figure it out in your head. Sam had fun playing at the ballpark. Did you come up with the same sentence I did? Good. So did you put your period at the end of it? That one's not a question, is it? And it's not something that we would shout. So that would be a period that would go in that sentence. Okay, let's try another one. Take a minute to read your words. Come up with a who or what the sentence is about first, and then your action, and then make it complete. Pink painted Jane the green vase and Jane painted the vase pink and green. Now on that one, could you switch up green and pink? So could you say Jane painted the vase green and pink? Yeah, so those are both details, so it doesn't matter which order that those come in. What would you end that sentence in? You didn't a period, right? Because we're not asking a question, and it's not something that we would shout with exclamation. Now, what are your nouns in that sentence? Do you have a person, place, thing, or idea? Jane, good. It's a person. There's one more that's a thing. Vase, very good. Now remember, you've learned about nouns this year and last year. What is a noun? A noun is a person, place, or a thing. Now in second grade, we kind of touch on a noun being an idea. Like if you talk about love or happiness, happiness makes the world go round. Love makes the world go round. So when you talk about it and you use it as a noun, like when you use love or happiness in the place of a person or a thing, then that idea becomes a noun. Now let's look at nouns in this sentence. Sam had fun playing ball at the park. Okay, now this is another way to kind of mix our sentence up. So we said Sam had fun playing at the ballpark. Now it's the same, like they're both complete thoughts, but look at this one. Did our nouns change? Do you see a person in there? Sam, good. A place. Park, right? And a thing. Ball, good. Now the only thing, and I didn't think about this earlier, when you write the word ballpark, if you wrote it together, so if you said he had fun playing at the ballpark, that would have to be a compound word, so they would have to be pushed together. So if you have them separated like that, ball would be a thing and park would be a place. So your nouns would be Sam, ball, and park. Okay, let's look at our other sentence and find the nouns. Jane painted the vase green and pink. You've got a who in there. What's your who? Jane. And your thing would be the vase. Very good. So our nouns are Jane and vase. Okay, so if we were to sort these, where would we put our nouns according to person, place, or thing? So I want you to take just a second and think about where you would put these. Now you have two people in there, right? Who are your people? Who would you put under person? Is a vase a person? No. Sam and Jane. What about a place? Somewhere you could go. Now think about a place would answer the question where. So do we have a where in our sentences? At the park, right? What about a thing? We have two things up there. Things are like objects. Ball and vase. Good. Okay, what we will be doing today is we will be finding nouns and sentences, and we will be sorting these nouns according to if they are a person, place, or thing. Now take a minute to pause the video and find at workbook page 41. It says 7.2 at the top. Now when you find page 41, what we're going to be looking for when we read our sentences, we're going to be looking for nouns in the sentence. Now if you look at number 1, the baker made a cake at his shop. Now your nouns in the sentence have already been identified. Baker, cake, and shop. And you see the number 3 at the end of the sentence in parentheses? That number 3 tells you that there are 3 nouns in the sentence. So that's kind of helping you out when you're looking for these nouns. Now notice where these nouns were placed at the bottom. Baker is a person who bakes. A place would be a shop. And the thing that they're baking would be a cake. So after you find the nouns in number 2, you're going to write them under person, place, or thing. And notice that number 2 only has 2 nouns. Okay, so complete page 41, finding your nouns and classifying them as a person, place, or thing. Okay, great job today. Let's review our learning targets. I can read words with the O, A, and OE spelling. And I can also sort words because you know the OA and OE make the O sound. So I can sort these words according to what letters make these sounds. And last, I can identify nouns in a sentence. Great job, and I will talk to you tomorrow in lesson 8.